Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Den of Possibilities podcast. I'm Pam, and as always, I'm grateful you're here with me today. Sometimes life gives us these little pockets of time, moments that remind us how beautiful it is just to listen, to pause and let someone share a piece of who they are. Today's story is one of those moments, a memory about my grandmother and the simple joy of hearing her reflect on her life, a moment in time. I hope this story encourages you, the caregiver, to collect stories. My grandmother lived to be well over 100 years old. And during that incredible lifetime, she touched so many hearts, mine included. What I find out of her life is that she became a nurse, a caregiver long before I ever knew I would follow a similar path. And even at 104, maybe 105, her alma mater reached out to interview her as probably their oldest living graduate. I am sure she accepted in her most gracious voice. I was lucky enough to be there that day, sitting quietly in her apartment with my aunt as the interviewer began. At that time, my grandmother had started to show some moments of memory changes, little slips, moments of maybe confusion, but not that day. That day, she remembered everything. As the interviewer asked about her nursing school days, she sat up a little taller, her eyes sparkling. She began talking about how she ended up in nursing school, how she went because her sister wanted to go, and she just decided to tag along, or probably got pushed into going. Who knows? She laughed about how different things were back then, how strict the rules were, how long the shifts were. And then came the question that opened the door to one of my favorite moments. The interviewer asked, "Is there a story you can share? Maybe something funny or memorable from those early days?" My grandmother paused, smiled, and said, "Oh, I don't know if I should share this," which of course meant she absolutely was going to share it. She went on to tell the story of how she and a few classmates hid another student's bedsheets or bedclothing or something up in the rafters, just a harmless little prank, and how they couldn't stop laughing when it was discovered. The whole room was laughing by the end of it, the interviewer, my aunt, and me. It was such a simple, joyful story. But what made it beautiful was that it was hers, remembered in vivid detail after so many years. That day reminded me that our stories never really leave us. Sometimes they just wait for the right moment or the right question to come back to life. Sitting there, watching her pause and think and then light up as she started to share, it was a gift. It was a reminder how deeply memories and connections are intertwined. And as an occupational therapist, I couldn't help but notice what was happening. How meaning and emotion can spark something that's been sitting quietly for so long. As she spoke, I found myself thinking about all the lives she touched through her years of nursing, caregiving, and kindness. And I realized that storytelling is a form of legacy, one that outlives us, one that teaches and connects long after we're gone. My grandmother modeled that so beautifully. Through her laughter, her honesty, and her mischievous spark, she reminded me that joy, curiosity, and humor don't fade with age. They simply evolve. So maybe this week, take a few moments to sit with someone you love, a parent, a grandparent, a friend, someone you work with, someone you provide care for, and ask them about a time that made them laugh. Ask about the small, silly moments that shaped them, because those are the stories that keep us connected across generations, across time, across all of life's changes. So, my friends, thank you for listening and sharing this moment with me today. Sometimes the simplest pleasures, the quiet moments of remembering, hold the greatest lessons. Until next time, let's continue to advocate, create, and teach. And remember, we're unlocking possibilities for every ability.